Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that has always struck me about, whether it's micros, XLs, slingshots, legends, and I know it's true even in places like Grandview and Big Diamond, where, some people use it as a stepping stone. We have, and we see it all the time in all of our different divisions, kids, a lot of them are right out there, kids get into it to learn, to improve, kind of hone their skills, and then the goal is move up to a full-blown sprint car, modified. So you have that group. And then you have the people, as you were just saying, who maybe have moved up and came back for whatever reason. You have other people who, hey, this is what I enjoy, this is what I can afford, I'm not, breaking the bank to run one of these cars, and they're in it for years and years and years. And you need each of those groups, and it's so cool. I think it's magnified, whether it's in the micros or any of the small car divisions. It's such a diversity of why are people racing these cars, and it's a wide variety of reasons, but it makes it really interesting. Now to what I was going to get into, and I posed this in Area Auto Racing News in one of the columns last year sometime, never got any feedback, so now I'm going to force some feedback right here tonight. I think people hear the term small cars. Doesn't matter which division, they hear small car racing, turns them off. Oh, I'm not going to see Jeff Strunk or Craig Van Doren or Kenny Brightbill or Fred Raymer. Might see Freddie now in the Speedster, but they hear that term small car, turns them off. Are we hurting, each of the divisions here as a community, are we hurting ourselves as far as building a fan base by using that label, that phrase, that small car phrase? What do you think, Doug?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm the first one to say that's what's killing all of us up here right now. I mean, and I'm, as a promoter of our deal, I'm the one, just like Wayne here, we go out, we try to book races with these tracks. I try to get away from that mentality. I'm the first one to say, like, when we roll into 5 Mile Point Speedway, I'm the one beating the drum saying, hey, we're going to be 2/10 of a second faster than your big cars. You guys ought to pay attention to us. The small car thing, it don't mean nothing. I mean, you talk to Doug Manmiller's a perfect example. I mean, when we ran at Grandview, Manmiller jumped in one of our cars. He ran the rental car, and he won with it, and he had a blast. I talked to Jeff Strunk a little bit down at the motorsports show. He's probably going to jump in my rental car or my personal car for Big Diamond when we're at Big Diamond this year. And it still comes down to, Mike can testify to this, laps are laps. Them guys want to be on that racetrack as much as they can. If Jeff Strunk can figure something out on the track when he's out in my car, and it's going to make him faster in that 357, that's his bread and butter right there. So it's only going to help him, that much more. But one thing that kind of you were touching base on is there is a size limit to track style. Like just say for instance, like the 600 micros. We'll just use them for an example. Trust me, I'm going to use myself for an example too. So, but like 600 micro sprints, putting them guys at Williams Grove, it's kind of like watching paint dry. I don't care how you look at it. I know somebody's going to disagree with this one, but I'm going to say it. Slingshots at Grandview, watching paint dry. Us at Syracuse.
Wait, where's Feltenberger? He may be getting the darts ready.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He's running that outlaw slinger deal at Grandview.
Yeah, I'm sure, but
but he is.
But you guys kind of understand where I'm going with this. And at the same time, like with the 600 micro, if you crash a 600 micro at Williams Grove, somebody's going to get hurt. Somebody's going to get hurt, and you're walking away with a junked race car. Just like a slingshot at Grandview. If you take a bad enough hit, somebody's going to get, yes, this is racing. We all know it happens. But why should you help it? There's no reason. We all, as builders, Mike, we do the best we can to put a safe race car together. You and I got to go to work on Monday morning. We got to sleep at night.
That's my worst fear, is to have somebody seriously hurt in one of my cars.
Absolutely, and I'm the same way. I mean, I have a deal with, in my program, if you wreck a car bad enough where I physically can't fix it, I'll buy it back from you. I physically want that frame to see how can I make it better. You know, and Mike Dicey, I mean, he's a very, very smart man. I mean, I didn't go to school for this stuff. I just started building race cars when I was kind of crap and green. You know, Mike went to school for this. He knows all the right way to do stuff. I just do it from years of experience. You know, I'm sure Mike wants to learn if there's a fault or a defect in his car structurally wise, he wants to know about it. He wants to make a safe race car, that's for sure.
And back to the naming thing, I always push to have our class called the 600cc sprints and not the 600 micros or the 600 micro sprints. Same thing with 270s. They should be called 270 sprints, not the 270 micro sprints. The term micro along with the small car thing is just a turnoff. Who wants to be a micro?
I see he's got the notepad out. Mr. Deo, no. This is the final Small Car Tuesday.
600cc sprints.
And you know, Brett and Lenny Salmon said, we'd like you, meaning me, to write a column on micro sprints, slingshots, what do I come up with? Small cars, big butts.
It's your fault.
It's all you, Barry.
I'm going to talk to Lenny. We're going to see if we can change the title. But Wayne, agree or disagree? And Tim, I haven't forgotten you. We'll get to you.
I agree. I mean, like Doug said, the hardest thing for me with the series is just trying to, I find myself justifying the cars all the time. You know, that, I mean, in the 600 mini sprint class, I call them mini sprints. You know, that's what they call them in the Midwest and in Florida.
You were just at Florida Mini Sprint Association.
And I refer to them as mini sprints.
But mini's as bad as micro.
No,
I don't want to be a mini either.
Yeah, everybody says micro years ago when it was just 270s. You know, and I think that's what a lot of people think about. You know, I don't know why we don't race in front of more people than what we do, quite honestly.
I think that could be one of the reasons, though. That label is kind of
a lot of the tracks
negative.
Small
car thing.
Well, no, I think some of it's the facilities. Quite honestly, I mean, you know, last year with the Pro Series, we did a lot of not traditional 600 tracks, but and those tracks are easy. The bigger tracks like Black Rock and Susquehanna and some of these other tracks, they're easier to get money out of because our purse compared to a sprint car or modifies is nothing. Yeah, even a good purse for us is nothing to them. But they always book us on their non-traditional nights when we're still Speed Week. The Pennsylvania 600 Speed Week at Lincoln on a Sunday night draws 100 600s, and there's 200 people in the stands. You know.
I was impressed. I went for the first time last year, and I thought, wow, not a bad crowd for a 600 show.
Well,
but you're right. That show should have packed that place because it was that good.
Well, and there was I don't think this 410 speed. I don't think the sprint cars were racing that Sunday, but I think a lot of it has to do with the facilities that we race at too. You know, we race with go-karts a lot of times on some of the tracks, and some of the facilities just aren't quite up to snuff compared to some of, like Williams Grove or Port Royal, or, you know, I'm from Harrisburg, so I don't know many of the tracks around here. And quite honestly, Central PA is 410 sprint car country. It's just the way it is. Just like Jersey and Philly's big block modifieds, I guess. I don't know much about it. You know, and that's what we're up against. We're up against sprint cars. On a Saturday night, there's 10 tracks that I can get to from my house just northwest of Harrisburg. They're within 2 hours of my house. Mini sprint or micro sprint tracks on Saturday night. And there's also 5 sprint car tracks that probably have 5,000 people apiece at their tracks, and that's what we're competing against. We're competing against sprint car tracks, you know, on Saturday nights.